Sports Pueblo, 1350. This is the John Wristen Show, brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's join the voices of the pack, Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, along with CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves head coach, John Wristen.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Andy Max for the John Wristen Show. Joe Cervi, I'm Jim Brooks with the head coach, John Wristen, who is on time today. John, you're kind of relaxed today. It seems like either that or you're very hungry. You got here to get into the meatballs and get a little early dinner going.
Well, we, this time of year, we started practice a little bit earlier and cut some periods down to 4 minutes. And so I was able to be here on time. So
nice.
It's nice to start the show being here with you instead of hearing you on the sprinting over here and huffing and puffing coming up here.
He's driving over. No, that's not true. That's not true. Not what I meant. That's not what I said. That's not what I'm going to say. That's probably what he's saying when he's listening.
You ever record him in the car?
Yes. Well, you're coming off another nice victory there against Black Hill State. You started fast and finished faster, I think is what your motto is, and that's kind of the way that game went.
Yeah, I thought really, our defense played outstanding, and it started with the first time they gave the ball to their second leading rusher in the conference, and Paris, he tried to hit it over our right side, their left side, and we really collapsed it. And there was a picture of 9 Thunderwolves there running the ball, and we kind of stood them up, and then
kind of the way he went backwards too was kind of telling the way the day was going to go.
We got the ball out and recovered it, and we're able to make get 7 out of that. So it was pretty awesome.
And you got it right back again and get, I think that was key to that ball game, really getting on top of them because you knew they were going to get their best shot. And they came back on you, got some points, but it was nice to get on top of them early where they never could really reel you in and get tied or have a chance to get ahead in the game.
Well, I think just the way our defense played really fast and the way we were able to handle the speed of the game, and we were able to handle the ebbs and flows of that game. And it really, I think the biggest part of that was not only the defense, but we were able to capitalize inside the red zone and those things. And so it's a lot better scoring touchdowns and field goals than we found out this year. And so I think with the offense, we needed to throw the ball a little bit, and we were able to get some play action passes and things that we've been working on, and we're able to use them this week. And I think it showed with us being able to throw 6 touchdown passes. And it really was important to do that early on, so it kind of helped our running game.
Well, you get 6 touchdown passes, people might think in this modern day of football, man, they must have had 400 yards passing in that game. You still only had about 150, 160 officially, but like you said, the running game was so good that when the passes came up, that play-action passing game, it's so beautiful when you're running the football well.
Well, I think it works hand in hand. We're not going to throw the ball 40 times a game unless we have to, and this is one of these games you really want to be balanced, and I think we're getting in a groove of not only our play calling with Coach Brown and Coach Shaw, we're getting into a rhythm of it, and it's really kind of cool to see how much we've grown, really, to tell you the truth. And I think that the best part about it is you're getting a lot of guys a chance to be successful, and I think everybody feels a part of it that way instead of relying on one guy, and that's able to help our offense grow. And then our defense is Sam Singleton, who had the birth of his first child this on Friday or on Thursday night, and he texted us on Friday and said, I think I'm going to stay. And I said to him, that's the right choice, and kind of led up to that beforehand. And so we gave Kyle Rosenrock his first start, and sure enough, he had a game he'll remember being his first start, and was RMAC Player of the Week. So, when you get a lot of people contributing that way, I think great things happen.
Rex Dowson reminded me a little bit of Ross Dowson last week. The way he threw back, the way he played a little of the play action passes, he sold it, and it was a pretty impressive performance for just controlling the ball, but throwing it at the right time at the right place. It just was one of those 2 weeks ago we wrote he had a career day throwing 3 touchdown passes, and then a week later he has set a school record throwing 6. So his maturity, even though the yards aren't rolling up, he's settling into that role.
I think, obviously you can see his confidence grow. And with each snap, he's gaining more confidence. And we're figuring out Rex, too. And it's one of those things that I believe coaching is matching it to your player's ability, not what the coach necessarily wants to do. And I think we're slowly and surely with Coach Brown, like I said earlier, and Coach Shaw, we're putting this thing together. And, Coach Sewell does a great job with the running backs there, and Coach Herring. And it's been nice having Trey Cooper back around. Luke Munster-Tiger does a nice job with our whole offense. And
2 100-yard backs. That was okay. When are quarterbacks really good, Coach? When you got good running game?
Yeah, they're and their jerseys are not dirty.
Yeah, they're clean.
You can wear the same jersey next week, and I thought we had great protection and I thought our backs, were being physical and playing hard and doing all the things necessary. And our receivers, we didn't have any really. We had 1 drop ball, and that was O'Shea. That's uncharacteristic of him. But other than that, we were on point. But it started with our defense, and I think that our defense played physical, and they give up 14 points, and we're telling Brandon Henry, you got to have a short memory out there.
Right.
And we responded, and I think the second half, I don't think they had a drive that got over the 50-yard line.
Yeah, they were shut down.
But I think the other really neat thing that kept growing is we were really physical in our punt return game. And I think we changed the field position that way. And our kickoff return, they didn't want to kick it to us deep. And so we took all that hidden yardage that you talk about in the game away. And I think that was a big key in that ball game, too.
Well, the one guy we talked about on the air, and, a lot of this is just perception from us sitting up there and watching every game like we do, is the one guy who took his game to the next level in terms of speed was Daniel Wise. I mean, he attacked his yards after catch. He attacked the punt returns and kick returns, almost like we've never seen him attack before.
Yeah, he
was angry.
Yep.
Which is a good thing.
Well, you guys want to get on my headsets when you got the 15-yarder. And so, but he played like he wanted to have his face up there on Mount Rushmore. He wanted to have a chance to do that. And I think that Daniel was excited to play and had an opportunity to do what he needed to, and got him the ball early, and he took advantage of it.
Well, we talk about number 88 up in Denver. You got to put up with a guy dropping a ball once in a while when they do great things, when they have the chance. And Daniel, once in a while, he'll drop a ball. I think he'd be the first one to admit it. But the catch he made on the sideline, on that zip route right down the sideline when he nailed it, I mean, Rex threw a beautiful pass, but, I mean, that was a tough grab. But to stay on his feet and just go right on into the end zone, I mean, that was one of the most impressive plays I think I've ever seen.
It's like a cat. You throw a cat up, he lands on his feet, he's a good cat, right?
Yeah.
If he lands on his back, you get rid of the son of a gun. But Daniel we did a nice job, and Rex read it right and threw it right over the safety, and it was a little bit behind him, but he went up and made a nice play, and that gave us a lot of cushion in the second half.
And then his other new toy, number 17, we saw the first touchdown grab of the game. It's nice to be able to throw it up high and have a guy be able to snare it like that out of the sky.
Yeah, it was one of those things that we were trying to work on, and
Larry Clark we're referring to, of course.
Number 17, and he ran a nice route, but it was a combination of a great play call and scouting them and knowing, and everybody executed, and we thought we were going to get that, and we did, and we were able to execute it.
Well, you mentioned your physical defense. Their running back, I guess he ended up with 75, 80. I don't know where he got all those yards. Did they make a mistake?
That was wrong. It was not right.
Yeah, it was probably about 30,
stats.
35, 40.
It gave up 39 yards total.
Yeah, so I knew something was up there. But it's like, well, okay, we'll read off what they have here. But I go, man, when did he gather up all those yards? Because I can remember he had maybe a 7-yarder, and maybe the touchdown run was a pretty good run. But you could tell that guy you see the body language, and man, I'm getting my butt kicked here. I don't know if I want to be out here. But he kept playing hard, I guess, but it just seemed like he wasn't quite all there. I don't know if it's a result of the injury or are you guys just taking a toll on him. What do you think?
Well, I got to credit our defense, and our defense took it to them, and we played fast, and it was really nice to be able to see our guys get in the right gap, and we just played at a different speed this game, and I think it's part of what we try to do at the end of the year. We try to play our best ball, and so this is the gold box that we talk about, and the gold boxes talk about playing the best ball at the end of the year, and the way we started off.
The only negative out of that whole thing of playing fast, playing hard, Brandon Payer gets ejected early in the first. Well, about 4 minutes to go in the first half, and they review it. And I told Jim, we said on the air, there wasn't a targeting. It wasn't even close. We figured they'd come back in the second half and say, no, he's eligible, and they didn't.
Well, it was their interpretation of what that is. I think it's a tough call. And protected the quarterback, and I think it could have gone either way, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, the intent of targeting is when like it says, you're aiming for a guy's head. When you run into somebody, sometimes the heads come together, isn't it?
Well, it's
when you're running into a guy head on.
I think the reality of that, though, it's a quarterback. It's in that position, and I do think we got to get a little bit lower on that, so you're not given that subjectivity.
Well, you've seen the film. Where did his helmet hit his chin, or where was the contact?
Trouble is that he was coming and his helmet skimps off the shoulder pad and hits him right there. So it's one of those things that you go, no, he didn't make direct contact, but yes, he did make contact, and so it is what it is, and so
that's what I'm saying. Maybe a personal foul, roughing the passer, but not targeting. That's what the guy should have.
Yeah, it could have been, but it is what it is. But we get Brandon for a whole game this week because the way the rule is that you have to sit out a half, and so he set out really a half and a half a quarter.
Right.
So he really played a quarter and a half. And
Ronnie Bennett played pretty good in his absence, though.
Yeah, Ronnie stepped up and had some opportunity, and I think
he's slowly beginning to be a pretty good player.
Well, he's getting into it. If you watch him practice, you go, holy smoke, and then he went in the game and did some good things. So I was proud of Ronnie. Those are one of the things about when you get all those new guys involved and they have a great experience. It's kind of fun to see them have a little joy with that.
All right. And you remember, he's just a redshirt freshman, so he's got all those years to grow. It's nice to see that. So when you sprinkle him in there a little bit, let him grow as a young player. We are at Andy Max. It is the John Wristen Show. We've got we got a little, the wings, the boneless wings here with a little, what is that, a little chipotle sauce, Joe?
I think that's buffalo sauce.
Buffalo sauce.
That's a golden buffalo. I tried one on my early entrance.
Okay, and then we got the meatballs. We got our garlic bread.
Too.
Oh, man, it's so good. And then we love the wings. John and I have become a fan of the wings after the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've been going with those. And we had the leftover ones. I had those again a couple nights ago. They stayed for 3 days in the fridge. John, let's try these. Heated them up. It was good. It was a nice remembery. There's a new word for you, a remembery.
It is.
John's rubbing off on me.
Is that a Webbery?
We've got the World Series going on. The Cubs are up 2-0. We can watch that when you come here. You can also listen to us yap, and we'll be here for the next 45 minutes or so. If you got a question for Coach Wristen, 719-671-7574. We've also got the hot mic again. It's ready to go, so anybody here in attendance, you want to come give John a question, or Joe a question, or me a question. But it is John's show, so you should ask the coach a question.
I'd rather have them ask you guys questions.
See what kind of answers
I want to see.
These are for Risto.
Oh, okay.
See what kind of answers we have. But come on down and join us. And once again, 719-671-7574. It is the John Wristen Show. We are at Andy Max on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350.
Welcome back to Andy Max. They caught us, I don't know, we weren't napping, we were just chatting.
Was that Caitlin?
Well, she's coming in hard there. Came in hot with the hard music, but that's good. But we are at Andy Max. It is the John Wristen Show. come on down and join us. We had some of these wings. I had some of them a little hot. I might need a little break here. You might have to carry it for a little bit. But the meatballs, incredible. We talked about another famous restaurant in Pueblo, which we won't name, but these meatballs are about 100 times better.
It's this good food, and it's reasonable prices.
Yeah.
You got the World Series here if you're a Cubs fan. You can come in and watch the Cubs, listen to John, eat some good food, drink some cold beer. This is like
it's like a perfect. You got
heaven.
You got Halloween decorations.
Yeah, you're getting in the Halloween spirit.
I'm going as Coach Wristen.
Remember that one year I did the show? I had my rocking hair. We did it that one year. I still got that picture somewhere. Maybe I'll break that out again. But when I was the rock star, I can't remember what you were that night. Manager of the Angels?
I think so. Something like that.
Yeah, that was.
I thought it was Mr. Potato Head.
You knew it was coming.
Exactly.
You knew it was coming.
He was Mr. Potato Head.
Well, that's all right.
John has a Mr. Potato Head in his locker.
I found 3 of them at my house this week. We were doing a little cleaning in the basement. Here's the old Mr. Potato Heads. I thought I'd just bring one next week, and we'll set it on the table.
There you go. It'll be the show mascot.
We put a little headset on them.
Well,
pen in hand.
We've gone to potato country where it's kind of cold. It's Alamosa. But now we're going to go to the cold country, which is Gunnison this week. And this game, no matter what their record is, the past few years, especially when you play there, has been one dynamite football game, and I expect nothing less going in there this week. This team they're ready for you. I'm sure I don't know if they're laying for you, but they're ready. Like everybody's ready for CSU Pueblo, but they've got a great running back, and they seem to know a way to kind of compete with you guys, especially there.
I think this is the top team in the RMAC, and we have a lot of respect for our coaching staff. They get the most out of their players. They run a sound scheme. I think that this game, in my opinion, the winner of this game should have a say in the RMAC championship. And so I think this is a very important game to have at this time of year, especially end of October, 1st of November. And it's just what you want as a competitor. And Western State has done a great job. They got a new defense coordinator named Todd Auer. And Todd Auer was the long time, I believe he was up at Chatham State for 17 years. Then he was over at Mesa with Coach Martin, was first year over there. And then they got a job over at Southern Illinois, and he's been over at Southern Illinois. And he ended up working with Jazz over at Chatham. So anyway, he's up in Gunnison up at West State, and those guys done a nice job with their team. Their team is really a talented team, and they do all the right things. They don't beat themselves. They get in the right spot, but they're playing so much harder. And this Avery kid, I can't pronounce his last name. Avery.
Brett Cervi.
Brett was a guy that is a great operator of the ball, and he's spreading the ball around. And
big kid.
And
he's senior too.
Right. He's a 4-year starter.
Yeah,
but the key is their running back. Their running back does an outstanding job, and number 31, and Aaron Eckler, and he's just an outstanding player. And I've had almost all the NFL teams come through here, and they want to know who I think's the best player around, and that's him. And I think he's got a great shot at playing at the next level. I think he's really talented. So we got our work cut out for us, and I have all the respect for what Western State stands for, and I'm proud that they're 6-2, and we have a chance to be 5-3, or we are 5-3, and we have a chance to play them, and that's all you want is a chance to go compete at this time and have it mean something.
Well, think about Eckler. He's not afraid to run it inside, but he's got those jets. He can get it outside. He's a game breaker. He's the kind of guy that can change a game in one play.
No question. He's a guy that can take it 80 in one play, and he did that against us. Last year we had him bottled up a couple times, but he just broke contain and just ran right down the sideline. And then 2 years ago in 14 when he went up there, and we were lucky to get a win there, that he was breaking off 10, 15-yarders. It was just, and we couldn't get off the field. And we held them to field goals versus touchdowns. That was only saving grace in that. But this kid is absolutely, but they're doing a good job with their scheme, their offensive line, and they're running the quarterback a little bit. He got dinged early on, and they're not running him as much, but they're doing a good job of play faking to him, Austin, and then throwing seams down the field, and that puts you in a tough run-pass conflict right there.
Well, it seems like just looking at some of their scores, as you were talking about before we went on tonight, it seems like when they get going, they really get going. Sometimes you get them bottled up, and they stay bottled up. I guess that's the key to the game, is just not let them get off and get going.
Well, I think that, they gain a lot of momentum, like
right.
any team does when they start fast, and that snowball keeps going. And I think they're throwing the ball better than they have. They're going to spread you out, run some wheels, meaning guys are coming out of the backfield, and they're going to try to take a guy from the perimeter and drag him in, and then the other guy's going to come right up the sidelines. And so you have to have really sound and be fit defense. You got to understand where your gaps are, and you got to fit it properly. And then you just can't give up the big play. And so you got to play a field position game. And the key to this game is making sure he's on the sideline.
Yeah.
Okay? And so if we can convert third down and play against a defense that's going to blitz from everywhere, you don't never know where it's coming. They're going to play a lot of that Chicago Bear defense where they're going to cover up our interior three and then stack a linebacker, and then the safety's going to be roaming. They may bring in guys off either side. They could bring two off one side. And so, you just got to be sound. We got to have a smart game plan. We got to have it really simple. And we really practice fast on Tuesday. And that was one of our better Tuesday practices we've had. And then today Wednesday's a long day with class and everything, so we had a little fun. And I thought we had a really good practice today, and I think I like our mentality of where our team is. And it's nothing like playing for a first-place spot at the end of October.
I talked to Jazz Baines today a little bit, and I asked him about Todd Auer, the defensive coordinator, and it's kind of a steal for a program like Western State to get a guy like Todd Auer. He may be a one-hit wonder or whatever because, he has aspirations to move on and up. But I asked him what was the one thing he brought that's been a difference maker so far, and he says he gets the guys to play hard.
Right.
He said that's he goes, the one thing that you'll see about us that maybe you haven't seen in the past is every play our guys are going hard.
That's I will validate that because you see that on film, and they've done a nice job against their opponents, and they've thrown 2 shutouts the last 2 games, Black Hills and New Mexico Highlands.
And then 6 the game before that.
And so they're leading our defense, and their defense is probably 1 and 2 in the league. And that scoring defense we talked about, they're number 1 in scoring defense, we're number 2, and total defense I think we're number 1, and I think they're number 2, and so he's got them playing hard. This is what you want as a competitor. This is what you want as a program, to play these games at the end of October that really means something.
I still maintain that 2014 game at Western State.
Oh, man.
You got the jersey on the wall and the trophy case saying that you're the national champion, but I remember being on the sidelines for the last 2:47 of that game going, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
are you kidding
this might
me?
Not happen.
This is, and it was too early, and it was like the 3rd game of the season, and it could have shattered all the dreams of that season. And for CSU Pueblo to pull that out, Bonner was having a terrible day, and then he makes some big throws, and Cam wasn't doing much, and he makes some big runs at the end, and all of a sudden it turned around and it was like that game. They brought out the championship football team in you that day.
Well, that was at 14. It was a bad memory. That game is, you kind of felt like you had a hangover from Sam Houston.
It was crazy.
And that's a tough place to play at that time of year. I think it really gets hot.
No lockers.
No lockers. You have no place to go. It's like you're playing in the park as a little kid.
Grass was deep.
And it was one of those things that you had a lot of excuses going in that game. And we needed every one of them.
Yep.
But we throw an interception with 3:45, and they run it down to the 20. And they get it down inside the 1st and 10, and
they go for it.
They go for it, and we stop them, and able to take the ball
97 yards.
97 yards to go take the win, and that was an unbelievable game. But that's what you're going to get up there. They're a great coach team. They're playing hard, and they got enough big play guys that are going to cause you a lot of problems.
And they're seniors. They're a senior-heavy team. They've never beaten Pueblo since the program was restarted in 2008. They have not beaten CSU Pueblo. Again, they've had a red letter day just like every other team, and the RMAC has had CSU Pueblo in red letters. So you know you're going to get their best. So they better get your best.
Well, I think that we're growing and we're maturing as a team, and I like the direction that we're headed, and we're going to be tested to the kills today, and we're ready. We're going to see whether we're ready or not to match what it takes to go up there and play.
Well, and the other thing Jazz said is, I said, what do you see at CSU Pueblo? He said, they got a couple losses maybe that they didn't think they'd have, but the trademark of CSU Pueblo from this year and every year past is they get better as the season goes on. He says they're an improving team every week of every year, and he goes, look at where they're playing now and how they're playing now compared to how they were playing just 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks. He said, Jazz said the one thing you know about CSU Pueblo is the longer they go, the better they get, and that's a nice compliment for your program.
Yeah, we try to build it that way. We want to play your best ball at the end of the year and not hurt yourself in the first part of the year.
You got half of it right.
Well, this year, but those are one of the things that we got to keep maintaining that formula.
All right, John Wristen Show. We are at Andy Max. If you got a question for the coach, we start going through those when we come back after this break. 719-671-7574. We've got the hot mic. If you're here at Andy Max, want to come up and give us a question in person, you can do that. We'll get that ready to go. And still plenty of time to get on down here. Enjoy the great appetizers, great dinner menu. The slop are not bad. The wings are good. That quesadilla is pretty good, too.
Oh.
I kind of like that. So we got all the cold beer you can handle. Andy Max, John Wristen Show. We are on Fox Sports Pueblo. We'll take your questions when we come back after this timeout. John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350.
Andy Max is the site. John Wristen is the star. It's the John Wristen Show.
The falling star.
We got Joe Cervi from the Pueblo Chieftain.
A comet that's going down in the fountain.
And your ringmaster, Jim Brooks, here with the questions coming in fast and furious. We're going to start off with Mr. Positive. That guy has a stadium up on the hill. You familiar with it, John? We asked
I see it.
I just want to make sure you don't forget it.
I see it every day for about 12, 14 hours.
All right. He's had a little, little health problem here recently. Had the shoulder surgery, a couple little setbacks. But Mr. Positive, Doc Eddie, is back home now. We're glad to report. And he, first of all, he wants to thank your ball club for all the get well wishes and the cards and letters you sent him, and it means a lot to him. And he just wants to know what do you feel like the key is to winning the ball game this week?
Well, I think that we have to convert third downs on offense, and then we got to make sure we go 3 and out on defense. And I say that kind of every week, and really that's the one. 2 is we got to make sure that we don't turn the ball over and give them a short field, and then we got to get turnovers. And then 3, I want our kids to go and have fun and enjoy this experience. And we got to go play physical football like we have been, and we got to continue to be able to handle that. We got to be able to wrap up 31. If we tackle 31, we'll have a chance to win the ball game. If we don't, it's going to be a long day.
All right. Ken, going to be in Seattle this week listening to us on iHeartRadio, so that's always cool. But he wants to know, Ken always wants to know the logistics. What's going on behind the scenes? Friday night, you're going to go over Friday night, of course, the afternoon game, 1 o'clock in Gunnison. What's the routine once you get there? What's your Friday routine, your Friday evening routine, Saturday morning routine?
Well, I believe in trying to get to the place where we're staying and try to get there as late as possible versus trying to keep everybody in line at the hotel. And so I try to do as much of our meetings here at home so you don't have a place, you don't have to do it at the hotel there. We'll do all our special teams. We'll practice. We'll have some player meetings. individual meetings, and then we'll go ahead and have a offense-defense meeting where we go through our singles, we'll go through the formations, and then we'll drive it. We'll have dinner, and normally we're going to the Golden Corral, and then we'll drive over to Gunnison for 3 hours, and then put everybody to bed and get up about 9 o'clock. We have breakfast at 9. It's 4 hours. We always eat 4 hours before the game, and then we'll do a chapel. We always have chapel. And then we have a offense-defense meeting, special teams meeting, and then a team meeting. Get on the bus and go get ready to compete against Western State.
All right, sounds good.
Just to expound on that just a little bit about the game, John. Western State, somebody texted me, it's a little bit different setup because they don't have locker rooms.
Well, they have locker rooms, but it's
too far.
It's quite a walk. If we were to walk down there at halftime, we'd have to turn around and walk right back up.
It's like painting the Royal Gorge Bridge.
Yeah, you get done, you start over.
And so, even Western doesn't go in the locker room. They sit on the hill and do things they need to. So I might even just keep our guys right on the bench.
Yeah.
And be able to, guys can sit down and in the past we've driven the bus up there, had them in the bus and tried to get them out of the heat. I just there's no easy way. I recall it to the days when you were in elementary school and playing old timers as we played, and then the Brooks family, you were supposed to bring the juice boxes,
right,
and popsicles, and then the Cervi family the next week was supposed to do that. That's what it feels like at times, and so it's quite a challenge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people don't understand. This is Division II college football playing basically for a share of the RMAC championship on the line.
Right.
A big game, and you're eating orange slices at halftime.
Well, it's okay to do in the locker room.
Right.
But when you're out looking at the mountains and big old elk comes by or something, I don't know. It's just it's different. It's
all right,
really different.
Team Tundra checking in from Yellowstone.
Yeah, it was great seeing them on Saturday.
That's right. What a night! Joe made it. It's
7 hours.
Easy trip.
7 hours across.
Just to come to watch you guys play. Now that was cool.
They drove all the way across Wyoming to watch us play.
That's a haul. But Team Tundra, of course, going to miss her hamburger that Wardo treated her to a couple weeks ago. That was a thing of beauty watching her scarf that hamburger down off the plate. But
it was a world record for a.
I'm sure she's eating well there. But what Team Tundra notices, John, is from the first of the year till now, the cohesiveness of the team. It seemed like you had a lot of individuals the first week, but as the year's gone along, it seems like the team has come together.
Yeah, I think I called it the maturity of a team when I talked to our group, our team, and sometimes you don't realize what's going on until you touch that hot stove. We touched a hot stove early on, and we realized some of our issues, and I'm proud of the guys addressing that. I'm proud of how the guys have come together, and I think that we enjoy being on this run.
All right, another question coming in. This is kind of talk about, but little dig at Western State. But do you think they mowed the grass this week? I mean, that last time we were there was almost. It couldn't be any worse than it was that one year at Panhandle. Remember that was that was ankle deep.
At Panhandle, there were
clumps of weeds,
dirt clods.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But in Gunnison, it was a little tall the last time. But they had a nice lush, wet August, early September. It was very hot, so it was great grass growing weather. Now we're a little bit later in the year, but I think that's when you do that kind of things, it means you don't think you're equal. I think Western State thinks they're an equal ball club.
Oh, they are
now,
equal.
They don't need to trick things up, and I think we'll see a nice fast surface this week.
Well, I think that's the way they keep their field. I don't think they did anything special against us. And
I do.
Oh well,
But that's for us to decide.
Yeah. Well, you can't say that. We can.
You guys get paid.
It was long,
but I mean, they got one of the best running backs in the country. Why wouldn't you want
that grass may have tripped him up on the key run? They might have scored a touchdown.
Why wouldn't you have it pristine for that guy?
Well, I think the growing in the weather, the cold, whether it helps keep it long or not, I don't know. shoot, I'm trying to grow my own grass.
Exactly. We'd like to have that. That turf was beautiful that day. Uncle Charlie checking in. I don't know if he's
Charlie.
up there. I don't know if he's up there in Yellowstone as well with Team Tundra.
Yep.
But just wants to say what a great ball game is. Loves the way the team's coming along. So thanks for that.
Thanks,
Uncle
Charlie, and that hot dam.
And all right. And now our favorite question each and every week. You know, we missed them last week. We don't know where they went. They were hiding. But Madison and Abigail checking in, the Turners. Aside from Mount Rushmore, where you visited last week, what other national monument would you like to take the team to see? Have you thought about this?
Wow.
Now, when we were down there at Sam Houston, Joe and I went to the tallest statue we've ever been under, the mighty, huge Sam Houston. It was incredible.
And then his head.
Yeah, exactly, the garden there. But what national monument do you want to go to?
Wow, I think it was really nice being able to see Mount Rushmore and those facilities. But I think taking the kids to Washington, D.C. and seeing those national monuments we have there, I think that would be pretty special. And I've only been out there a few times, but I think that would be a great educational tool, and I want to use it as an educational tool.
Well, and you got to realize next year you go to St. George, Utah.
Right.
That's a great area.
You know, you can kind of... the Grand Canyon is probably a little bit out of the way there, but the Crazy Horse or you can go to something, national monuments in Vegas.
I never thought of that as a national monument. That's a good one.
There's a lot.
He goes from crazy horse. Says going where?
Well, you got Crazy Horse up
Crazy Horse up there.
There's different.
There's crazy
horse in Nevada, and there's a Crazy Horse in South Dakota.
Oh,
there's 3 of them in Nevada.
I was in South
very
Dakota.
Statuesque.
I'm sorry.
Very statuesque. All right, let's move along, shall we? Rick checking in. I don't know. Rick was here, but anyway, he left a to-go question here. You know, we can't do any scoreboard watching, but have you looked at the schedule? What are the other key games in the conference besides your games this last 3 weeks? It's all moot if we don't win 3 in a row, but what are the other key games? Have you looked ahead to see who you think might be the games to sort this thing out or to muddy it up even more?
To tell you the truth, I really haven't to see who the other teams are playing. I'm just been trying to focus on Western State. That's the only thing we have control over, so we need to do that. And, trying to get our team to understand that so we can go ahead and compete at a high level. And that's our single-minded focus is what it's going to take.
All right. Finally, regional rankings are out for the first time. I guess I didn't check today, but they are out.
They were out Monday.
Pack weren't part of them. You're not out of the top 10, but which is, he didn't say disturbing, but what's he say here? First time in a few years. How important are these rankings at this point of the year? Do you know where you sit? Are you 11th, 12th, 13th, or does it just go to 10 and everybody else is out of there?
With a 3-loss team, you're hoping for a lot of things to happen in front of you. And so Western is, I believe, right at the 11th or 12th spot in this thing. And so I think that, playing this game and getting a Division II road win and all those other little things that take place will help our cause. But we have to just control what we can control, and hopefully we get some help from other people.
I think you have to win out, and I haven't studied it yet either, but I know there's we got 4 conferences involved.
Yeah.
So it's us, the
Lone Star,
the MEAC, and not the MEAC, the GLIAC, and the Great Valley. Okay, so that's 4 conferences if you want to do your homework and study the teams there. But you got to feel like 3 are going to come out of the Grand Valley Conference. That's the GLIAC, right?
Right.
And maybe 1 out of the Great Lakes Valley Conference.
Well, right now they'll have 2 that are.
Oh, they got 2 in there. Okay, well, I'm thinking only one's going to survive there. Lone Star probably get 2.
Probably 2.
So the question is the RMAC going to sneak 2, or is it just going to be 1? I guess that's you're hoping it's 2, probably.
Right.
So that's probably what we'll keep our eyes on. And as we go on through the year, we got to keep winning. If you keep winning, then we'll start highlighting scores when we do the games and give you the scoreboard show afterwards, so we'll keep an eye on it.
There is earned access. If you're a conference champion and you're in the top 8, you can go from 8 to 7 and get in. What does that do if you're co-champions?
I don't know if that gives you still have to be ranked in the top 8.
Right.
That's all that matters.
Right.
So really,
but I mean, if you're 8th and you're a co-champion, there theoretically could be 3 teams from the RMAC co-champions in the 8th spot.
Well, that it's just going to depend on a lot of different things.
Right.
And I think you're head-to-head in determining your playoff versus a co-champ will come into play.
There you go.
I think the one thing CSU Pueblo can look at, we want to make it as hard as possible for them to not pay attention to you, I guess. Win impressively, and then decide, hey, keep us out, but you saw what we did. You know what we are. I guess that's...
Well, I think that's part of this team's motivation since the 1st of October, and so we got to be able to handle our business.
All right.
Hey, we got the hot mic.
The hot mic. Go ahead.
All right. I guess Coach wanted me to come say something, so I didn't see you, Pueblo, in Spearfish, so come to Gunnison. It's only 3 hours. Mario's Pizza is awesome.
I love Mario's.
There you go.
We call it the cheese salad with the mozzarella and the pepperoni.
Focaccia bread's amazing. And most importantly, you can back the pack. What are you going to do on a Saturday? Come on, come see the team.
I love it, Wayne.
All right, Wayne. Thanks, buddy.
I would have a question, but you answered it about the whole targeting thing, so beat Western.
I appreciate you coming up and following us. So let's beat Western. I hear you. Thanks, Wayne.
That's how you do it on the hot mic. We're a little long on this segment. That's all right. We'll be short and snappy on the final segment. We'll talk a little bit more about Western State. That all comes your way next. We are at Andy Max. It's the John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo.
John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350.
Boy, Caitlin Norton, our producer and engineer,
Angry.
Turning it up a notch. And she's got such a beautiful, sweet smile. When you go in there to the office, I go in every Thursday, every Monday to get the copy of the game or the copy of the John Wristen Show so we can put it online for everybody that missed it. And that music there just doesn't suit the ideal you see of her.
Oh, no, she's the sweetest, kindest, quietest.
Is there a dark side there?
She was a competitive swimmer, so yeah.
Swimmers.
Yeah, so
all right.
They all hate life at one point.
Well, we thank everybody for all your questions that you sent in for us tonight. We've got about 4 minutes left here in the show. We're going to dive into Western State a little bit more, but you've kind of touched base on everything that needs to be done against this ball club. But I guess it really comes down to stopping number 31 is number 1 on the list.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler.
He's one heck of a football player. And it's kind of funny when he came down to recruiting, I thought he was a really good player. And you just couldn't take all the backs, and we were able to get Bernard and
it's not like you whiffed.
No, but you were pretty flush with backs at that time.
I know, but it was a difficult decision, and you look back and you go, hey, I probably made the wrong decision.
Well, but you had at that time you had JB,
right?
You had Cam,
right?
You were getting Bernard.
We had Chris Ash. So it wasn't like. I mean, the one position you had an embarrassment of riches was there. I mean, now you'd sure we.
Even had the kid out of Arizona, his name's escaping me, but yeah.
In hindsight, it's like
Marchand Denard.
Yeah, I mean, there was this embarrassment of riches, but he's playing with the chip on his shoulder, Austin Eckler. I'm sure.
Well, he's done a great job, and I'm just proud to get a chance to know him. And he's what small college football is all about. He's made the most of his opportunity, and he's a heck of a player. And I think Jazz and his staff has done a great job with, and they're looking forward to playing this game just like we are. And what this game really boils down to is old school RMAC, when the times used to be Western State and USC used to battle for being 1 or 2 all the time there, and then Mesa was in there a little bit, and
you can buy those shirts here at Andy Max, the old USC Indian shirts.
Yeah,
they got them on sale for $9.99, and they are fantastic shirts.
So this game's a little bit of a throwback Saturday. You're playing a really good football team at the end of October, and it reminds you of the old days of the RMAC, and it's going to be one heck of a competition. You just hope you only have to play against one team. If you play against one team, good things will happen. But you have to play against yourself. As we've proven, it becomes a long day for you.
Now, we talked a little bit about your running game, about by committee. You have the 3 guys now that are kind of shouldering the load. Are you wanting one of those guys to step up and be the 25 carry guy?
I don't think we have that guy.
Okay.
And I think that we got to play to our strength, and we got to manage it, and we got to give him a chance to hit that crease and get north and south.
Well, and then also in the ball game, I guess we always talk about the explosive plays. You got to limit theirs, and then it's imperative your offense hit a few, I think, in this ball game because their defense is so strong.
Right. The keys to victory for us, as we have every week, is one, you got to play physical, as we talked about. Two, you got to dominate third down. You got to score touchdowns in the red zone. You got to hold them to field goals. If you do those three things, then you combination with having 5 more big plays than they have, you got a chance to win a lot of ball games. And so, and those are all about making sure you don't have selfish penalties, you don't do the wrong things at wrong times, and you manage the game in a championship manner, because this is a championship game. And I'm looking forward to having a chance to go play up at Gunnison and having a team have a chance to go compete and still play for first place. Because, in all reality, a month ago, no one ever gave us a chance. Right. And we're disappointed in the way that turned out on the other side of the mountain, but that it is what it is. You can't do anything about it, and I'm proud of our kids being able to respond.
All right, we're looking forward to it. We hope you all can make the trip over the hill to Gunnison. Like Wayne said, it's only 3 hours. Come on over. It's supposed to be a beautiful day for football. It's a nice little stadium, great views, and come out and watch the ball game. Watch the Thunderbolts, a great Division II college football game, battle for the RMAC lead. Special thanks to everybody here at Andy Max, everybody that texted in your questions. My partner is Joe Cervi. The head coach is John Wristen. We thank Caitlin Norton, our producer and engineer. I'm Jim Brooks. We'll talk to you on Saturday, 1 o'clock kickoff, 12:30 pregame. Good night, everybody.
Go Pack.
Thanks for listening to the John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350. Tune in again next week at the same time for all things CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves football. Only on Fox Sports 1350, KCCY Pueblo.